G'day everyone, my name's Cautious Pancake, and ever since I heard about the original Wizard Tower by Dobbers, I wanted to create my own version, so today's the day! The tower is made up of 3 parts. There's the main body of the tower, which is just there for aesthetics, but also helps with stability, the top room of the tower where the combat happens, and the spiral block staircase inside of the tower. For those that might not have seen it, here's a screen grab of the Wizard Tower that SnowBee built for Darkness Falls, where you can see the tower is made of a mix of railings and blocks to give that indented spiral look. For my version, I've tried to emulate that style, but instead have turned the blocky spiral into a path for the zombies to take. This gives the zombies a bit of separation from each other, as well as a chance on each jump to stumble and fall back down to the bottom. The goal is to achieve a steady but manageable stream of zombies entering the combat cage at the top of the tower, even when running on a 64 zombie insane difficulty Horde Night. Let's start with a quick walkthrough of the base. Starting from the bottom, I originally had this flat on the snow, but due to the asymmetrical top room, which I'll get to in a bit, they would all cluster around one staircase, and with 64 zombies this would leave a lot of them blocked from being able to progress, so they would smack on the staircase instead. To avoid this, I put in a force field floor with pit below that forces the zombies to choose the nearest stairway and spreads them out over all 4 of the staircases, resulting in very little damage. If they fall into the pit, they can take any of the 4 exits underneath and then come back and try again. The zombies then jump up each of these blocks that are floating out around the central pillar and eventually make it to the top, assuming that they don't stumble and fall back somewhere along the way. At the top of the tower, this room brings the zombies together and provides a single ramp up to the combat cage above. This is also why the zombies usually have a preference for one of the spiral staircases over the others, because each staircase has a different path length depending on how close the entrance in this room is to the ramp. From there, the zombies can run up the ramp and into this simple cage, which has a couple of electric fences to keep the zombies under control. For us though, we want to be on the other side, so let's drop back down to the bottom and I'll show you our entrance. To get into the base, we can use the first step of the staircase like this, and then jump over onto the ladder that runs up the central support pillar. At the top, we have a small room which prevents the zombies from getting to the ladder. On the other side of this wall is where the zombies walk around to get to that ramp. We can continue up though, and here we are on the other side of the cage, where we can fight against the Horde. It's a small basic room with a generator and fences on one side, and the other 2 fences on the other side. The benefit of this setup is that we can easily repair the fences if we need to. The risk is that if there's a cop explosion or a demo explosion, then we could lose all of our fences, so we'll just have to be a bit careful. Outside of the combat room, there is a small landing so that we can take in the view, and around the back there's a ladder for rooftop access where we have a few basic SMG turrets just in case we need to deal with vultures. So the real test then is to see how it performs. Alright, time to get started on our Horde Night. While we're waiting, we'll just bring up the stats just to show that we've got our character level at 300 and our game stage is at a nice high 720. Theory being is if we can handle this at that game stage with insane difficulty, then we should be able to handle pretty much anything else. Just waiting on the moonrise now. A couple of minutes to go. Should probably turn on our electric fences just in case. But it is going to take a few minutes for the zombies to come up to the top here. We'll keep an eye on them down the hole here. See if we can see when they start to come up. Alrighty, where are you? I can hear footsteps starting to get a bit closer now. Can hear maybe somebody in the room below. There we go. Our first catch of the day. So this is where we want to start to see hopefully a steady stream. Oh, cop. Make sure. Ouch. I'll just take that one to the face, shall I? But we want to make sure that they don't at any stage blow up, because that's going to wreak havoc on our fences. As you can see, they're all a bit spongy. But the huge advantage of the fences is they give us nice, stable headshot target. Given my hopeless shooting at times, it makes it a little bit easier. It also does a bunch of damage to them as well. On an insane difficulty, every little bit of damage helps, especially since from memory the trap damage isn't reduced like player damage is. So as you can see, we get a nice steady stream. Oh, hello, Mr. Demo. I'm going to switch over to the big gun for him, because otherwise it'll take forever. But like you can say, a nice steady stream of zombies that isn't too overwhelming from this design, which is really what we're going after. They're going to keep coming up, but as long as we keep taking them out, then we shouldn't get overwhelmed at any point. At least that's the theory. A little bit of a lull. Obviously, as the zombies come up and then fall down, there's going to be gaps and periods in there where we don't have anything to do, but hopefully not too many. We're holding up pretty well, an hour in so far. You can see I've gone with gunslinger pistol build for this one, but you could go with whatever you want. Probably not a shotgun build, although that would be pretty devastating to the zombies. I don't know what that'll do to the back wall, given that it's a fairly close range. We don't want to end up blowing that out. Not that it's essential for stability, so it wouldn't be the end of the world if we knocked a block or two out that way. Probably no rockets though. Don't want to use rockets up here. So I certainly had quite a few cops in this first bit. Got a bit of a lull at the moment. I'm not sure whether that's end of the first wave or something, or whether there's just lots of zombies falling down below. But we might just use that to pull out the repair gun and see how our fences are holding up. They're looking pretty good. Back wall's copped a bit of damage, probably just from my pistol shots going through. How's the cage itself? Also holding up pretty well. And here are the zombies again. The other thing to note, I guess, while we continue to take out these zombies is that if you feel the rate of zombies is too high or too low, especially if you're playing with less than 64, this might be too tall. You won't get enough zombies up into the combat cage. What you need to do then is change the height of the tower to suit your settings. So if you're playing with lots of zombies, you want a slightly taller tower. Less zombies, you want a shorter tower. Basically comes down to the more blocks that you have in that spiral staircase, the more jumps that the zombies have to do, and for every jump there's a chance that they stumble and fall back down. So the taller the tower, the slower the rate of the zombies will be coming up into the cage. We might have a bit of play with that in the next video, which I'll do with a build guide on how to make this tower. We can have a bit of a play with some extra short or extra tall towers and show that on the tallest towers I expect this to go pretty close to an AFK base as well. These demos are ridiculously hard to bring down, but you get there in the end. As you can see, obviously this advantage of the block staircase is that it is dog friendly. We've had plenty of dogs coming up. Haven't tried it with a bear, to be fair. I'm not sure that that'll actually make it. That might be a little bit big for some of the gaps, particularly that little room with the ramp. I'm not sure that the bears will fit through there. They'll probably just try and smash it all down. So don't invite bears up for tea, but otherwise it's good for all of your zombies and all of the things that you'll meet in a Horde Night. Can see, you just keep coming along, wait for the zombies to hit the fences so they go nice and still, and take the headshots that are on offer. You can loot the bags as well. You will get a few bags down the bottom at the end of Horde Night, mostly from zombies that have died due to fall damage. You won't get obviously an XP for those, but you will get the occasional loot bag. The rest of them though, because we do all the killing up here, are usually pretty accessible and we can reach in and grab them during the Horde Night. given that I forgot to take all of my buffs as well, we might just pop them in now. Need some recog, some coffee. Since I've taken a couple of hits, we might just put on a bandage as well. And then, since we're coming up on halfway through the Horde Night, and you've seen how smooth it is, we might just see what it looks like to finish off the Horde Night with a nice little montage. Well, that last part was probably the most intense part of the Horde Night, coming back down to deal with the Screamer that was at the bottom. Now that that's out of the way, let's have a quick look at the damage. These first few steps are where most of the damage I think will come. As you can see, there's a little bit of damage on each one, mostly from the occasional whack from a zombie that got blocked probably by another zombie. Same over on that one. Let's just jump down the bottom. Let's see, a few blocks down here are the same. Again, a little bit of damage. Oh, we've lost a block there, so they can actually take some of that out. Lost one and close to losing another one over there. So most of the damage seems to be centered around the blocks down the bottom that are blocking the zombies from coming back through. We can potentially design that a little bit better to allow more free-flowing zombie access back out of the pit. But for now, it's not too bad. Let's head up the ladder and check the small room where the zombies run up the ramp. There's a little bit of damage in here from zombies whacking on the other side, but nothing too bad. And last but not least, let's have a look at the damage up in the cage. There shouldn't be a lot here with the electric fences keeping them away and hopefully me shooting them most of the night. So as you can see, there's a little bit of damage from hits here and there, but nothing too significant and certainly no chance of them breaking through. A little bit on the back wall, probably from missed shots. A little bit on the sides, again from zombies, but otherwise, very, very little damage, very little chance of breach. I think this base holds up very, very well to an insane difficulty 64 zombie Horde Night. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed my version of the Wizard's Tower, and that it provides another idea for a Horde base on your next playthrough of 7 Days to Die. Please consider dropping a like to help me out, and subscribe if you'd like to see more 7 Days to Die base builds. Thanks for watching.